Hey, let's build an actionable marketing report that allows you to quickly hop in, look at the results, take action on your content marketing. My name is JJ and I run Media Authentic. We're a data marketing analytics agency where we help you measure your marketing and then take action on it. The big step most people forget about is the planning stage. So we're going to actually, first of all, plan out what we are going to accomplish to have this report and what action we're going to ultimately take based on the information that it gives us. If a report without action is basically useless, well, there's no point in having data if you're not going to take action on it. So first thing first is we're going to plan. Then we're going to actually hop into Tag Manager to see how we can collect that data, how to build our data structures within Google Analytics, and make sure that everything is succinct, clean, and up to date there. Then we're going to hop into our
A few moments later.
visualization tool of choice, which is going to be DataStudio. And DataStudio will allow us to visualize that information in a way that's useful to both the end marketer and the data company. And lastly, we might throw in some tips and tricks along the way to make these things look extra sexy for you and your marketing teams. All right, let's hop into it. The plan is the most important part. And so what we're going to do is we're going to look at, say, hey, what questions will we need to answer? And this is in order to take an action. So with a lot of content marketing, we need to define, first of all, what questions we are going to answer. Because that is the most important part. And ultimately, we want to say, is it useful? So first things first, are people reading our blog posts? Right? That's the question that we'd have. The answer, right? Yes or no. And then we want to take action. Then take action. All right. So that's one question. Number two. All right. So number two would be, what is the next action people are taking? For example, click onto next post or offer, right? And so those are two of the most specific questions that we encounter oftentimes. And the next one is going to be, what page are most engaging? And so here we have our three questions, right? We have our people reading our posts. The answer will be a yes or no. And then what action we'll take, right? So if yes, we want to know what action we'll take along those lines of saying, hey, if they are not reading this post, we either need to delete it, revise it from copy or design perspective. And so that is what we're going to do, is figure out how to measure that. And then what is the next action people are taking? So this is going to be clicks onto the next posts or a different offer. And so we want to make sure that we know what are people clicking on. And lastly, what pages are the most engaging? And that is going to be via page views and engagement. And lastly, I'm going to say mobile versus desktop, because that is going to influence a lot of design, a lot of people's engagement, right? If you're on a phone, you might not read an entire blog post, but it would be really, really helpful to know. And so here, we have these questions. Now we're going to go into what we need to actually document this. And so here, we're going to hop into this. First of all, are people reading our blog posts? So we want to know, are they scrolling to the bottom? Right, so for here, let's just say we want to say 10% scroll, 25% scroll, 50% scroll, let's do 75, and 90. So here we are going to measure exactly how people are scrolling on the content. The next thing we're going to say is, what is the next action people are taking? And so in this capacity, we want to know exactly if people are able to take that next action. So here, we're going to say clicks. Okay, so we want to know what people are clicking on. And so how we're going to measure that is by clicks. So click URL, we want to know where, right? Where are they going? And let's say click text, which will answer why they clicked, right? If it said earn $1 million, that'd be one version. And then we're going to have the click ID, which would be design, right? This might be where it's, it's a purple button because the click ID is 123. And let's look at these last two. Is we're going to have the most and least engagement, which we want to measure by page views right here. So we're going to say, hey, we want to know how many page views are occurring. And we also want to know what device are they on. All right, so here, this should answer our questions. We want to know which pages people are scrolling to. We want to know the click URLs of the destinations they go, the click text that they're headed to. We want to know how many page views are occurring and where they are occurring, and ultimately what devices they are on. So these three pieces right here should be able to get us the majority of the way there. And let's just make this green because these will answer our questions. There will be other ways to improve this. So for example, if we wanted to add in the post type, so for example, sometimes we have blog posts. Other times there are long form sales letters, and maybe there are a lead page. Right, so this is an improvement. We're not going to hop into this yet, but this is another option. Just if you know how to do this, it might be something worthwhile. So ultimately, we're going to try and get each of these questions in the next video within Google Tag Manager so we know exactly how things are occurring.